It started subtly, just a shift in the way Alex behaved. At first, no one thought much of it. But slowly, those small changes grew into something impossible to ignore. Where once he was warm and friendly, Alex became cold and distant. His smiles vanished, replaced by a shadow of emptiness behind his eyes. When friends tried to reach out, he responded with sharp words, his voice carrying a strange edge that sent chills down their spines. One night, the group gathered at his house, hoping to break the silence. But the atmosphere was heavy, thick with unease. As they sat in the dimly lit living room, faint creaks echoed from the old wooden floorboards. At first, everyone dismissed it as the house settling. Then, a sudden thud upstairs made hearts race. Later, objects began to move on their own. A chair slid across the floor when no one was near it. Doors creaked open, and lights flickered without cause. The air grew colder, and a strange, uneasy feeling settled over the house, like something unseen was watching, waiting. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a shadow flickered just beyond the edge of the porch light. It seemed to stretch and shift, darker than night itself. No one could explain it, but everyone saw it, an eerie silhouette, lurking just out of reach. Alex's behavior worsened. He muttered to himself in a voice that wasn't quite his own, eyes glinting with something malevolent. He avoided sunlight, preferred the darkest corners, and sometimes, late at night, neighbors reported hearing chilling whispers that seemed to crawl into their very souls. His closest friends, torn between disbelief and fear, began to suspect something beyond normal, something supernatural. Was it just stress, or something far darker creeping into their lives? The change was undeniable. The warmth they once knew was gone, replaced by a chilling void. Something was wrong. Something dangerous. And it was only just beginning. As days passed, Alex's unsettling behavior escalated into something far more disturbing. It was no longer just mood swings or strange whispers. Now, his very presence seemed to radiate an unnatural darkness. One evening, while hanging out at a friend's house, the group noticed it first, Alex's eyes. They glowed faintly red in the dim light, flickering like embers trapped behind a veil. His voice, once familiar, had changed, deep, guttural, and layered with something sinister, as if more than one soul spoke through him. Without warning, Alex's body tensed and convulsed. His limbs twisted in ways that defied normal movement, and a terrifying strength took over. When one friend tried to calm him, Alex's grip tightened with inhuman force, making it clear he was no longer in control. That night, strange rituals began. Symbols drawn in ash appeared on walls, circles etched into the floor, candles flickering with unnatural blue flames. Alex spoke in a language none could understand, words that twisted and coiled in the air, filling the room with a heavy, suffocating energy. Each attempt to intervene seemed to empower the dark force possessing him. When a friend tried to reach out, Alex's eyes flashed with rage, and a voice not his own growled warnings that sent shivers down their spines. The demon was awakening. Soon, it became evident that the battle for Alex's soul was real and fierce. The line between friend and monster blurred as his body became a vessel for something ancient and malevolent. Fear gripped the group as they realized this was no ordinary possession. This was a fight against a darkness that sought to consume everything they held dear. But how could they save Alex, when he was already lost inside? Fear mounting, the friends knew they couldn't face this darkness alone. What once was their cheerful companion was now a vessel of malevolence, and every passing day tightened the demon's grip. Desperation pushed them to seek help beyond their understanding. They turned first to ancient texts, books dusted and forgotten in old libraries, filled with cryptic symbols and rituals meant to combat dark spirits. As they read by candlelight, the words seemed to pulse, alive with a power that both terrified and fascinated them. Their first attempts were cautious, prayers whispered softly, holy water sprinkled around the house. But nothing could prepare them for what followed. The moment the rituals began, the air grew thick and suffocating. Shadows stretched and twisted, as if mocking their efforts. A chilling howl echoed through the walls, rattling the very foundation of the home. An exorcism was their next hope. They found a priest rumored to have faced similar terrors before. But even his faith seemed fragile in the face of this ancient evil. As he began the rites, Alex screamed in voices both his and others, a cacophony of pain and rage. The demon fought with a ferocity that shook the room, furniture shattered, candles blew out, and the priest staggered, pale and breathless. The possession was not isolated. Strange occurrences began to ripple beyond Alex. Friends reported seeing fleeting figures in mirrors, hearing distant whispers when alone, and feeling icy fingers brush their skin in the dark. Each attempt to expel the demon brought new horrors, new scars, both physical and spiritual. The house became a battleground between light and darkness, hope and despair. Yet, despite the terror, the friends refused to give up. They clung to the belief that Alex was still inside, fighting for control somewhere beneath the demon's relentless assault. But as the night deepened, one question haunted them all. How much more could they endure before the darkness consumed them all? The terrifying ordeal pushed the friends to dig deeper, beyond rituals and desperate prayers, to uncover the truth behind the demon's origins. Their search led them to an unexpected place, a small, forgotten shop nestled between crumbling buildings, where a reclusive occult expert resided. Inside the cluttered room filled with dusty tomes and strange artifacts, the expert listened carefully to their story. His eyes, sharp and knowing, reflected a depth of understanding beyond the ordinary. "The entity that has taken your friend," he began in a low, gravelly voice, "is no common spirit. It is an ancient demon, one that feeds on fear, guilt, and despair. It chooses its hosts carefully, those weakened by trauma, grief, or dark secrets." He explained that this demon had existed for centuries, lurking in the shadows of human suffering, always searching for a foothold in the mortal world. The reason it targeted Alex was tied to a buried guilt, a secret from the past Alex had kept hidden, one the demon had unearthed and now used as a weapon. As they learned more, the friends discovered the demon's strength was linked to their own fears and doubts. Every moment of despair gave it power, every act of hopelessness fed its hunger. But the expert also revealed a glimmer of hope. The key to saving your friend lies not just in rituals or exorcisms, but in confronting the darkness within yourselves. Only by facing your own fears, your own guilt, can you weaken its hold. Armed with this knowledge, the group prepared for a battle far more personal than they had imagined. The fight wasn't just for Alex's soul, it was a test of their own courage and resolve. The demon's power was terrifying, but the darkness within themselves might be even more dangerous. The night was thick with tension as the friends gathered in the dimly lit room where Alex had spent countless tortured hours. Shadows danced across the walls, alive with an unseen presence that watched, waited. This was it, the final confrontation. Alex sat slumped, pale and exhausted, but his eyes burned with a faint flicker of hope. The demon, sensing its time was running short, lashed out with a fury that shook the very air. Its voice echoed through the room, an unholy roar that rattled bones and chilled hearts. The friends stood firm, holding hands and chanting the prayers and incantations they had painstakingly learned. Their voices wavered but grew stronger with each word, a lifeline tethering Alex back to the light. Suddenly, the room erupted in chaos. Alex convulsed violently, his body twisting and contorting as the demon fought to maintain control. Faces appeared in the shadows, twisted, mocking, taunting. The friends could barely hold back tears as they watched the battle raging within their friend's soul. Then, something changed. A flicker of recognition crossed Alex's eyes. the demon's hold weakened. The friends intensified their prayers, pouring every ounce of faith and love into the struggle. With a final, agonized scream, the demon was expelled, vanishing into the darkness from which it came. Alex collapsed, breathless but free. Tears streamed down his face as he whispered thanks to those who never gave up on him. The room grew quiet, heavy with relief and exhaustion. Though the demon was gone, the scars remained, a haunting reminder of the battle fought and the darkness faced. But more than that, it was a testament to the power of friendship, faith, and courage. Sometimes, the most terrifying stories are those of survival, and this was one they would never forget.